And are you following the evolution of angel funds and the pooling of angel investments? Do you see that an alternative also to VCs? Like individual angels can do only as much, as you rightly said, in terms of the ticket size. But now we're seeing more of angel funds being consolidated into pooling that may have the capacity to fund for a much bigger ticket size. Would you also consider that for a future growth stage?
Definitely. Definitely. I think this is where we currently are. It's in the middle between proper institutional funds and actually just a pool of angels that are represented by an entity, basically. But this also takes a lot of time to build. And currently, what I've noticed is that during this period, past year and a half, has been the most difficult to raise funds in, even from angel investors. And yes, then this means that pools make more sense because it means angel investors can put in smaller tickets and then you group them into one larger or more substantial ticket size for sure.
Right. Of course. This year's theme, Yusr, on the Angel Investors Week is about diversity and inclusion. We see gaps globally, not only within the region or Lebanon. We see gaps all over the world, but to various degrees, right? Looking at different regions with regards to the gender gap and many other gaps that we can quote within the investment landscape. What are your observations, and how do you see those gaps can be best overcome? And do you see the outlook positive in terms of bridging those gaps in a way or another?
Look, there's definitely, as you said, this is the theme here because this is actually the theme across a lot of initiatives that are being done. There's a lot of a lot of initiatives today are targeting diversity and inclusion. And here it's important, like when you're targeting it, are you really targeting, or is it only, kind of a greenwashing, basically?
Yeah.
And this is quite important. So I'll tell you a bit about Wakilni and our experience in it. And it's not a straightforward answer. It's not on a checklist that someone tells you, are you doing this? Yes, so you get the investment. For us, it was much more core. Today, we're very, very proud. So today we're around 380 people. And the average age on the team is around 27. So it's a youthful team.
Okay.
And the company is majority operated by men, but it is led by women. So 78% of our leadership positions are actually held by women.
Okay.
And one of the things, so when we saw these numbers, we're today actively working on including more men on management team and more women on the operational level, starting from drivers. We already have around, I think, 4 or 5 women drivers on the team and in the warehouses. And we've done some work with the IFC, where we took a lot of recommendations from them on how to further improve working conditions for women on our operations team. And we've done a lot of work, like actual work on that. And what this meant, so for us, I'll tell you how this is useful. This has created a form of a culture within the company that we have a lot of awareness on this. So team members are required to be aware of, okay, how many women do we have on our operations team today? How much retention do we have? And every supervisor is responsible to maintain the women on their team and to make sure that the work environments are suitable for them. So when we hire a woman driver, we care that we want to maintain or progress her in the company. And this is the other thing, is that we do a lot of work on how do we support the team in growing from within the company itself. And this has created a very strong culture for us. It has allowed us, so this is the form of culture that has allowed us to pass through and be able to actually maneuver through challenging conditions. That's the only thing that got us through. It's the people on the team, the culture, and just the tenacity to actually make it through these challenging times. So this is for me is, okay, when you focus on these topics and you make it very clear. So Yom, I'll give you examples of how, when we talk about gender inclusion. So today, one thing that we've worked on internally is that we've extended maternity leaves by an additional week on top of what the law is requires from us. We provide parent leave, so an additional 15 days for working mothers and fathers, by the way, that they can take without having to submit an excuse for it. We have set up internal nurseries. We have 2 nurseries in the building, in the headquarters for working moms, and we allow them to actually bring their children. We have 4 women that make use of this facility. And all of these, what happened is that, one, as I said, they create the right culture, but at the same time, they attract the right investors as well. So you will have angel investors that automatically for them, this signals a certain kind of values in the company that they are interested in and that they want to support. So they become now invested in something beyond just the business numbers. It's I'm doing impact on society. I'm doing impact in Lebanon through this investment. And this is why what I'm saying is that it's important. It's not one thing that you do. It's several things that you are doing on these topics that then end up creating, your image, your the values, the kind of team that you have, and the kind of message that you are, and it draws the right people in.
Yeah, indeed, and I've addressed the same topic with a few other guests on this same week, Yusr, and they did emphasize on the triple bottom line, imperative, and we kind of discussed, but I would like to also have your view on that. We kind of discussed on that diversity and inclusion. If they were to be adopted, they're not actually burdens. They can translate into a competitive advantage. And the examples that you've just given, and the fact that you were able to attract more investors into your venture, is a clear evidence.
You attract more investors, you retain team members. And it's costly today to replace team members. So this retention element is also very important. And third is you improve morale. And when you improve morale, people are more productive and more efficient. You spend less time on conflicts and more time on actually doing happily. So of course, it's beneficial on many levels.
And to create a gender diversity or a diverse environment and an inclusive environment is not actually costly. The examples of actions that you've taken are actually quite simple, but they can make a huge difference in making your environment more conducive to diversity and inclusion.
They are so. They may look costly, but they're not costly. They just require the right mindset and the right acceptance, not just from the management, but from the entire team. So today, when you set up a nursery, you need the acceptance of all the team members of this. Yeah.
And on a final note, Yusr, it's never enough to hear from you all these stories. On a final note, how would you like to address the audience of the World Business Angel Investors Week?
Look, this is a topic for us in Wakilni for the past. We're looking deeper into it. So today we've done a lot of standalone initiatives, whether under gender diversity and inclusion or other like social impact initiatives. But I think it's very important, specifically in our region and in our country, that we as the what we call like the private sector, be aware of what is the general strategy, what are we trying to do behind all these initiatives, which initiatives can we actually collaborate on together in order to ensure bigger impact beyond only, the walls of our companies and what we have built, but actually, because at the end, this is what the society is made up of. And when we align strategically on these social initiatives, under these titles, we can actually achieve more impact across the communities that we belong to.
Absolutely. And if we were to host you again in 2025 for the same occasion, what would be the one thing that you would want to tell us about then as an achievement? What do you have in mind? Something that's a goal that's sorry for that surprise question. But I'm sure you have many goals all the times, challenging ones and easy ones, Yusr. But out of those goals, what is it that you would want to tell us about in 2025?
Continued growth. Continued growth. Beyond where we are today.
Amen.
Allah.
All the best, Yusr. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
your
Thank you,
time.
Salim.
It was really
Same here.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.